All right, young versus old has been quite the theme for the last couple of weeks, and we've seen some heated discussions after races in 2019. My favorite now has to be Jimmie Johnson and Ryan Blaney. I don't think the number 48 and the number 12 will be going out drinking or to dinner anytime soon. Johnson's first race with his crew chief, Cliff Daniels, he was trending in the right direction all afternoon long before he felt like Blaney came and ruined his day. In his post-race interview, his exact quote about the conversation with Ryan Blaney was, "His lips are quivering, his knees are shaking. I don't know what his problem is. He drove through me. He claims it was racing. I can't wait to go racing." How do we feel?
Well, first of all, I wasn't up close and personal with this
You didn't see
conversation. I saw the finger pointing, but I did not see the lip quivering that Jimmie had mentioned. It looked like a relatively docile conversation. I don't think that Ryan intentionally barreled through Jimmie.
And he said it was not intentional.
But I loved this Jimmie. As much as I want to see Jimmie back in victory lane, back winning races, having those top 10s, those top 5s, just performing like we know Jimmie Johnson can, I like that it's made him a little chippier, a little edgier. He has something to prove now, and I'm actually getting pleasure from seeing, because who would have thought Jimmie Johnson would be in a post-race scuffle, and Jimmie Johnson and Ryan Blaney are not two drivers I would have selected to be battling each other.
It also was really weird because I think Jimmie Johnson is one of the classiest humans. He was the most classy trash talker I've ever seen.
And I loved it. I love this Jimmie, and I hope once he gets back to his winning ways that we kind of still see some of this edge. Because again, everybody likes to see Jimmie perform well, but I do like that it's bringing out a little bit rougher and tougher of a Jimmie Johnson.
He did make a little bit of a move. He's now tied with Newman for 16th, which is the last spot, if the playoffs were to happen today.
I know we talked about how like young guys need to stand up for themselves, but so does a 7-time champion still, because he has that classiness to him that sometimes drivers are like, yeah, I'll push him around, he'll be fine, he's not going to be mad. Well, he got mad this time. And I do agree with Ryan when we know how Ryan races. He's not going to maliciously go out there and just wreck a 7-time champion, a guy who he's always looked up to, and he's been open about that.
I do disagree with something Jimmie said, and I don't quote me exactly, but in the conversation he had with Ryan, because there was a lot of audio from that, he said something to the effect of, you know the position we're in, meaning the outside of the playoff grid, coming into Watkins Glen, now again tied with Ryan Newman. That shouldn't give Ryan any reason to race Jimmie less aggressively. That's an excuse to me for Jimmie Johnson to say, you know what position we're in. Yeah, I mean, if it's the last race before we're kicking off the playoffs and Ryan's solidly in and he's making a move like that, keeping Jimmie from making a playoff, maybe you can say that. But we still have 4 races left. And you're a 7-time champion. That's not an excuse. Oh, you know what position we're in, meaning trying to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's not Ryan's problem to worry about. That's Jimmie's and the 48 team, because they put themselves in that position by not being able to perform as well as others. And if you're in Blaney's perspective, it's like, hey, if I can get a 7-time champion out of the playoffs, not that he did it on purpose, of course, like he didn't run him over or anything. It was a racing incident. But at the end of the day, if a 7-time champion isn't in the playoffs, that ups your chances to win a championship. So,
do you think it was dirty racing, or do you think it was just...
It was a racing incident, and
it's a road course.
Yeah, it's a road course, and it's through the carousel. That's a really tough corner because you are so on and off throttle throughout that whole turn, because you're on the edge of grip and control on that, and you want to make sure you get a good entry off of it. So if Jimmie maybe thought he had a line and Ryan thought he had a line and they came together, that's just a racing deal. There's nothing you can do about that.